What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are going to be looking at one of the knives that Rusty Knife Lover sent over. Rusty has been a very good friend and been a big supporter of the channel ever since I started. He likes all knives, all styles of knives, and he does like traditionals. I am not a huge traditional guy, and so he sent me over a huge box of knives. I was so surprised. I mean, a ton. Not all traditionals, but a lot of them are. He was to try to get me into those, and I was like, you know what? I am open to it because I have a couple of traditional style knives. My grandfather was a traditional knife guy. My dad was. They both carried like case knives, but those are the only ones that I ever really had any kind of experience with. Today we're going to be going over one that he sent, and this one is the Ryder Reserve Easy Open Razor. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh, so the reason that I picked this one first was because in the comments, whenever I was unboxing these, I said I had no idea what this was. This kind of blade shape. It was different. It was kind of funky. And so I was like, I was just like, this is cool. I have no idea what it is. So people in the comments actually told me that it was a design for amputees during the war, I'm assuming the Civil War, to be able to open one-handed, to be able to get on the side of a pocket and kind of fling open. So that intrigued me. And so, because that's one of the things that I like about the modern knives is I really do appreciate to be able to open and close a knife really easily with one hand. So if I am working on something, I can do that, cut, put it up, stow it away. Traditional style knives are not the easiest to do that with. So this one was right off the bat kind of intrigued me. So this thing is beautiful. This is Ryder, which is a company with Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I guess that they're one company or a sister company from what I understand. I don't know much about it. But it's the Ryder Reserve, and there's a few different ones in the Reserve. So you got Ryder and then Ryder Reserve, apparently. And there was a few different ones. As a matter of fact, I think he sent me another one in the actual Reserve. This one, model number is RRR001. And whenever I carried this in my front right pocket with nothing else in there. He did send over a really cool slip for some slip joints. This one was a little bit small this way to get into that, like it would sit too deep, and so I just threw this in my pocket and I carried it. Well, it has a very nice, I'm learning the terms, walk and talk, because it has a wonderful half stop. It's not too easy, not too hard to get it, out of your open from the knife and out of your pocket. So that was very nice. I was able to get this thing out. I like the tactile feel that it has. It is about 90 thousandths, I guess, on the blade stock thickness. And then it has a flat grind. I guess it's just called the Razor. But it's very, it's like 17 thousandths behind the edge. So I was really stoked about that. It cut really well. It's got this linen micarta. Oh, that just looks really cool. If our camera will focus. Looks really cool. Linen micarta, pin construction, brass liners. So the brass and the linen micarta look really well together. So you know what? Let's get behind this knife, get a closer look, and then I will let you know what I think as far as the size and all that. It was an experience, let's just say that. So let's get behind the knife and take a closer look. All right, so what we have is a overall length of about 7 inches with a blade length of close to 3. So right off the bat, it's a little bit smaller than, of course, I'm used to, but it's not tiny by any means. Like I said, about 90 thousandths on the stock thickness. We're relatively thin here. So as far as just throwing it in the pocket, because this doesn't have a pocket clip, is fine. It didn't really bother me having it thrown in the bottom of my pocket. I was able to get in and out of there obviously pretty well because this is the only thing that I had. So to kind of give you an idea of the size, let's go ahead and put it up against the Spyderco Para 3. So as you can see, not too far off as far as the overall length. So this thing in the hand I mean, yeah, it covers, my big old hands cover up most of the knife, but I can get all of my fingers around there. I don't know. I think some people said their pinky kind of landed there. Mine doesn't really do that. I got to get my hand back here. But yeah, it was a full-handed knife where I was able to kind of, get in there. I didn't do a whole lot of heavy cuts with this because I'm just not used to slip joints, but for everyday tasks, which is like getting into packages and, cutting paper and tape and all that other stuff, it worked really, really well. So as you can see, it is definitely not a tiny slip joint like some of the ones that I've seen in the past, like some of the ones my dad carried. He carried the really small case knives. Another one I would like to put up against this is the Civivi Rustic Gent. So actually both of these are in D2 steel, which is really cool. This one has carbon fiber G10. This one has linen micarta, but as you can see, they're pretty close in overall size. This one is a backlock, and so a locking knife to me is better, but like I said, I'm giving this a shot. And so since I'm not used to slip joints, some cuts and some way I manipulate the knife are having to change whenever I'm doing some stuff just because I'm so used to a locking knife. But as you can see, pretty close in overall size, and I really do enjoy this knife. I really, really do. One thing about the Rustic Gent that I like is that it doesn't have a pocket clip, but it does have a slip. So the slip, that's why this lanyard is on here. So when it's in my pocket, I can get it out of the slip really easily. And this, I actually can roll out one-handed. And then because this has a half stop too, it's not as bad to close one-handed either. It's not very, I guess, easy, but you can do it. So that is about as traditional of a knife that I've had in my collection until, well, I've got all of these from Rusty because he's such a great guy. And, I like them. I love the look, especially of this one. The badge is really cool. This was a design of Kevin Pipes, which is I guess he's the owner of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. But he has a lot of history, I guess, or is a history buff with the Native Americans. And so that really, really looks cool. I love the construction. This thing seems to be very, very well made. I don't feel any transitions. It's very smooth in the back, which I think is a lot of the people that do buy traditionals, they really, really check that to make sure there is no transitions. These are supposedly handmade, but I don't know where. Anybody knows in the comments, let me know. But I think I think their slogan is like handmade and for life or something like that. So I know I have heard so many good things about if people do have issues to contact Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they take care of you really, really well. Never had a personal experience with that, but I heard nothing but great things. So that is cool. Now this blade shape here, if you'll look, it's funky. And like I said before, is for you to be able to open with one hand. So basically, you catch this on a pocket or something, and then to open the knife. But that right there was as best that I could do. It wasn't like an Emerson wave or anything to where I could get it on there and really get this knife open. Almost every single time it only opened about this much. And so I did have to do this or put it against something else and do it a different way. And there might be a good technique to be able to do this. And if anybody knows, let me know. But I wasn't able to really get the knife open one-handed by doing that. I was only able to open it like that. And then whenever I went to go back and tried to do it, it almost felt like I was fixing to cut something. So yeah, really cool idea, really cool design. And like I said, if there is a way that you're supposed to do it, I just don't know it, right? Because it just didn't work all that well for me. But all in all, this traditional style knife is really well put together and really beautiful. It does have a lanyard hole. I would actually rather have a lanyard hole on a traditional knife, kind of like the Civivi Rustic Gent here, where it's not a hole in the knife itself, but you can wrap it through on the butt end of the knife. This one is not that way. I'm not sure how traditional guys feel about the lanyard holes. It's something that I really haven't thought about. So if you are a traditional guy and you're watching this, let me know what you think. Do you like the lanyard holes in the knife like this, or would you rather see it in the butt end of the knife? I would be very curious. I'd rather them be like the Rustic Gent, but to each their own. I just don't know much about that. So all in all, I really do enjoy this knife. I wanted to get you a very, a good up close. I've got something on it. I don't know what that is. But just the Linen micarta. I am a huge fan of micarta. And so this Linen micarta is absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. It is a smooth Linen micarta. I don't think you need a whole lot of grip on these knives, but with that and the brass liners, it just looks amazing. Rough Ryder does a good job from what I understand. I think I've got quite a few in that box that Rusty sent over, so we will be going over a lot more of those to come, and I couldn't thank him enough. So let's turn the camera back around and let's see my final thoughts and where I'm going to go with my traditional journey. All right, so all in all, final thoughts on the Rough Ryder Reserve Open Easy Razor. I like it. I don't love it. I like it. With traditional style knives, it's just totally different than what I carry, but I did carry this and I enjoyed cutting with it. It is a wonderful tool. And it is very well built. I mean, for $40, guys, this thing is $40 for this Linen micarta D2 steel brass liners. I do think that's a deal. I'm not abreast of what these usually cost. I know you've got some really high-end traditionals and you've got some lower-end traditionals. I know that Rough Ryder has some budget options that are still very well built, and so even more inexpensive than the $40. So this one I don't love. I look forward, though, to trying the other knives that Rusty has sent over, because he sent over some really cool stuff, and I will have his Instagram link down below. I want you guys to please go check him out and tell him thanks. Be like, hey, I saw that you sent DTOM Knives and Gear some knives. That's awesome. Let him know how much we appreciate. And I mean, all of you guys, all my subscribers, you guys have just been amazing. I know this is a little bit different than with this whole face cam thing because I'm so used to the desktop. So I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten on that. You guys are just amazing. So definitely stay tuned for more. Go check out the Rough Ryder line at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, because they're a great retailer for all knives, really. So definitely go check them out. I'll probably put a link down below for that as well. And stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.